All right. Yes, welcome back. Today we have a super fun, super generous guest. We are hanging out with Ashley Ann, also known as King Ashley Ann, who is a talented business owner, public speaker, and social media strategist. She's helped over 11,000 individuals monetize their social media, and over 700 of those people create six-figure incomes. Now she's helping over 151 people create seven-figure incomes from their social, and 9 of her clients are consistently doing $1 million months. That is dream life is real life, right? She's helping businesses generate, somewhere around 20 to 50K per month using live stream. So here we are live streaming with King Ashley Ann. Thank you so much for being here. You've already been generous with your time and energy, and I can't wait to continue the conversation with you here.
Hey girl, hey, and thank you so much for having me. And I love your energy. You're so kind and so warm. And so I was like, this is fun. I was like, this is gonna be a fun one today.
Yeah.
So whenever they sent over, I started stocking and chicken hogging, and I was like, okay. I was like, I'm into it. I was like, I'm here for it. So
we're a little woo-woo and a lot, get shit done over here. So yeah, we've got that both going for us. And you were talking a little bit about how manifesting and law of attraction and those kind of like woo-woo things are totally part of what you do, and obviously what we talk about here as well. But were you always into that? Did you always have this sort of entrepreneurial or like spiritual inclination, or what inspired you to start down this path? Because I think entrepreneurship is just like one big personal development game or course. So what was your starting point?
So entrepreneurship, I feel like it's just always been there. I'm not even sure if I had a choice in it, because I grew up in the country. And so all of us would like work with my grandma. Like we had like a farm, and we would like do all the produce and get it prepped. And we would go with her to like sell stuff all the time. And yeah, I don't know. It just was like normal life for me. I kind of don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like another way. But I knew probably honestly when I was like 19, I was going to be a business owner, somewhere around 19 or 20. And I knew this because I used to be a barista. I used to work with Starbucks.
Okay.
And I remember I wanted this weekend off. And I asked for this weekend off like 3-4 weeks in advance. And my superior was like, no, you can't have it off. And I was like, why not? Right. And I had found, it was even some other girls that are like, I work it. I don't have anything going on. But I guess at this point she was like power tripping or something. She's like, no, you can't have it all. And I was like, well, I was just telling you as a courtesy. I'm not going to be there anyway. So whatever.
Courtesy. Yeah.
She's like, well, I'll write you up and whatever, girl, I don't care about this job, whatever. So like literally like, like looking back, like super disrespectful. Right. But like on the go, I was just like, girl, it's like, girl, whatever, bye. Yeah. And so then I did not show up, but I'm like, why would you schedule me? I told you, right? Don't calling me 4 or 5 times for what? I literally picked up the phone, was like, I told you I wasn't coming. I tried to put in the time off. We had other people that said they would take the shift. So this is your bad. Click. So then I go into work like the next day, like nothing's even happening. Like, hey, what's going on? And then she's like, well, you need to come back here. She commences to write me up or whatever. And I'm like, all right, girl. I'm like, bye. She's like, where are you going? I was like, home.
Yeah, you just didn't want to play that game anymore. You didn't want to play that game anymore. I think, and I still feel a little bit like crazy or naive because I quit my 9-to-5 job and kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I quit, like I didn't have a plan. It was like a real job, right? I wasn't quite that young, but I just remember being like, I'm not going to sit here and play this game. Like, I don't know, but I know that this ain't it. Right. Like, I don't know how it's going to be or what I'm going to figure out. But I think that we all have that at some point in our life of like, this is crazy. Why would I show up on the weekend when I gave you this advance, And I think the people who take action and say something and make a change are the ones that become entrepreneurs, and the ones that just complain are the ones that just work other jobs, right? I think there's like very different mentalities, and you have to have that I'm going to do something about this mentality to be an entrepreneur, which you did.
Absolutely. If you're going to be successful. Now, once I actually had like a real 9-to-5, and I decided I was leaving, I it was a lot more diplomatic about it. And, the option came for me to renew my contract. And basically I was like, I want to pursue other opportunities. I had already built up my company. I had booked like a couple of 6-figure clients at that point. And so I reverse engineer. And so then I left, once I knew that we were making enough to be able to cover all the overhead and do everything that I wanted to do. So I worked my regular 9 to 5. Like once I actually got into a career, I did that for 3 years while I was building up the business before I left and went out on my own.
You're a hustler. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense. That's really intense. And I think that's more of the advice I would give today, but I didn't take my own advice when I started my business. So I'm curious, that's kind of like laser beam into that time. You had obviously found something while you were working 9 to 5 that helped you not just pay, but cover and expand, not just pay bills, but, expand your lifestyle. So I often hear phases in entrepreneurship, and that maybe what you started doing isn't what you're doing now. But what was kind of the key that helps you leave your 9 to 5? What got you there?
Oh, it was easy for me. Like it did not bring me joy. Like I was good at it. So my bachelor's degree is in finance. I have a master's in business and the whole shebang. And I was really good at what I was doing, but it did not fulfill me. It was not joyful. Was it they asked like if you could do anything that you wanted to do and money was no issue, you just do it and didn't have to worry about paying anything, what would you do? Definitely wouldn't have been doing that, even though my mind works really well with numbers and I'm good at counting and, understanding reporting and stuff like that. And then on the side, I'm over here banging out all of these amazing, fantastical dreamland fantasy events. And this is fun. It's hard work, but I love it. I can't get enough of it. That's what I want to do, right? That's what I wanted to. I was like, okay, so how do I figure out how can I get paid to do things that I like to do? That then became like the pressing question, in my mind. How do I figure out how to navigate this world and how to manipulate energy so I can get paid to do something that I want to do? And at the time, I definitely grew up in a church background, and I always kind of was like a little oddball, and I would get in trouble sometimes in Sunday school because I would ask certain questions and they'd be like, what? So that was probably was starting my journey into spirituality, probably when I was like 12 or 13, actually really, really young, just learning more about other people's religions and day-to-day practices and kind of what was out there, and then becoming very fascinated with all of these rags to riches stories. And not because of not from the monetary aspect, but just the aspect of this is where you started off in life and this is where you've been able to get yourself to, and looking at the patterns and the commonalities there. So
success leaves clues, right? This is exactly
Yeah.
why I do this show. And I always start with these questions because sometimes it's like, okay, great, her like childhood story, but we can see, this is why we love movies. Like when we see ourselves in other people's stories, it means that we get inspiration, right? It's that if she can do it, I can do it sort of thing. And I think that when we are willing to study other people's success or other people's path, that's when we get to stand on people's shoulders and just kind of build from like where, we get to just have that launch pad. Right. And so I'm curious before we keep going, like who were some of the people that became your mentors or you learned a lot from, or you kind of stood on the shoulders of? Where did you get that inspiration?
So my grandma was a woman that had like a bigger, like got just a huge life force, like huge. And she always would just tell us that we could do. I could have went to my grandma and said, I want to build a rocket ship out of cheese. And she would have said, well, I'm not sure how you do it, but I think you could do it, right?
We'll be at the launch, sweetie. That sounds great.
Oh, my grandma was she was with all my shenanigans, and just watching how she moved through life and was able to create such a wonderful environment, especially in that time, right, that she had to grow in. And we live in Arkansas, so like it's not even like covert racism, it's just straight up, overt. So to see what her and my papa were able to accomplish during that time and how they were able to create like a better life path, for my mom and all her brothers and sisters, because it's 10 of them, like that was amazing to see, and like my grandma, she just didn't take no shit. Excuse my language, she just didn't. Yeah. So my grandma was a big one. Then I got into Wayne Dyer, and I pretty much love everything, anything from Wayne Dyer, just really tapping into the power that you have, right? And learning how to manipulate energy to your favor. So I would say that right there is like huge. You know what I'm saying? That was really, really huge for me.
It's the stuff that everyone's like, yeah, energy, mindset, blah, 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 right? And especially when I was starting out, I was like, that's not what I need. I just need this strategy. Just tell me actually, like, what are the 10 steps to monetize my social, right? But I was over here carrying around this baggage of like, I'm an imposter, I'm not good enough, this is never going to work, right? And so as I continue to evolve in entrepreneurship, anytime I'm banging my head against the wall or I feel like someone just tell me how to do this, I was like, and this is a mindset thing, right? Like here we go back to mindset work, because systems never work if the mindset like foundation hasn't been laid with mindset. So I think that makes a lot of sense that you had like that energy in your family, you focused on the mindset, and then you were willing to like show up and do the work of like doing events and hustling, working two jobs,
that's
right?
the big one right there, showing up. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. So I'm a firm believer, and I'm willing to bet like it all that I'm not wrong about this, because clearly it's been working for me and I've been able to help so many of my other clients succeed with this. But I'm a firm believer that whatever you want in life wants you back. And I think that everything is on a certain frequency, right? It's on a certain channel. Just kind of like, you remember back in the day, like you'd actually listen to the radio in the car, and right, you just like, you would turn the dial and you would hear like country music, or you'd hear hip hop, or you hear jazz, or you know what I'm saying, or polka or whatever. Like you just kept turning the dials and you hear different things. That's what I feel like it's like with business and entrepreneurship and just anything else that you want in life. You just got to turn to the right dial. And so you turn on the dial, like you have to be in alignment with it. Everybody's like, law of attraction, law of attraction. Yeah, but like there's a law of compensation before we even get to law of attraction. And so how do you get in alignment with something? You get into preparation. Like you have to put some type of action or activity out there to bring it to you. So you may not, like, you may be trying to figure out like, how do I get to $1 million or $10 million a year, right? How do I get past this 100K or 200K to get to that? And like, so now you have to start studying like you do. You need to study and get in the room with other people that have already hit these 7 and 8 figures, because I guarantee we act a different way. We see things in a different way. We put ourselves in different proximity. We're in a different atmosphere. We may be using a different software or a different strategy, but it's there, right? So, and then you may not be up to where we are. Like I give a real basic example, like we moved over to SendGrid for our email systems, right? Maybe you're still using like ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit, but you're going to start seeing all these people that are making 20, 30, $100 million a year. Well, dang, they all use SendGrid and they all are using an S3 server. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're playing a different game, right?
Right.
Just back to like, I put in my weekend. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play. And you know, one of the things I said to you, it's like, the questions that I'm starting to ask myself to move from like multiple 6 figures to this next level is not, yes, I want to know your email campaign. That's lovely, right? But the question I keep asking myself is like, who do I need to become to think that way, to be in the room? And I think so much of what you're saying comes as a product of like self-identity, saying like, that's where I'm going. That's the room I need to be in. Who do I need to become to even like know, you know, the connection, the email server and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would you agree that that's a key question to be asking?
Yeah. And a lot of people, like you said, you have to show up. Like you got to pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way around it. Like whatever you want in life, you pull up on it. I grew up in Arkansas, in Scott, in dirt roads, like no street lights. Like there was not the opportunity for where I'm in right now in life. Like that wasn't there, right? I had to pull up, and a lot of people are, I don't know, like they're afraid or they overthink it. They get in their own way, and it's like, no, just pull up. Like stop making it complicated. This is where you to be. You may not be able to do all of that, but you reverse engineer and you take the first step to do what you can, right? Pull up. That's it. If you want to get there and just pop yourself to the right channel. And how do we pop ourselves to the right channel? We pull up. and we take the first step. Like
And
literally,
it's
it's that simple.
not dramatic. Okay. I was just this weekend hanging out with some friends who have bigger businesses than us, and they just don't do drama. They just like don't do it. They're like, oh, this isn't working. Okay, let's ask someone who's already had this problem. Okay, let's look at the system, you know? And I think for me too, at the beginning of entrepreneurship, it's like, this means something about me. I was just telling Ashley, like, there's like this issue with my Instagram account right now. And I'm like, oh, like I broke it. Like, this is so sad. Like my ego is like bruised about it. And it's like, no, this is not an emotional thing. Like figure out who can help you fix it and like move on. And I think that's it. That's been a huge distinction for me this year. It's like, it's not personal. It's not traumatic. It's just like, roll up, figure it out, do your job. Like that's what it is. It's not an emotional roller coaster as much.
Yeah. And this is the thing too. Right? Our emotions trigger physiological responses in us, right? And literally, if you can put yourself up on a higher vibration, you're going to attract more of what you want to yourself. So if you're in a negative space, or if you're like anxiety, you know, you feel like chaotic, maybe things are disorganized, you're constantly feeling overwhelmed. Well, guess what? You're going to keep attracting more crap to you that piles on that. So you have to learn how to understand, like, this is my emotion. I feel this. This is temporary. It's not forever. Let me feel this. And then, like you said, get done what I need to get done. Okay. Like I better cry and send an email. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got going on, because that's just right now, right? You're still going to get to your ultimate goal. And entrepreneurship is kind of strange because in the beginning, you are putting in a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of effort, and you're not necessarily seeing like the compensation from it, right? And then you can kind of sort of start to wonder, like self-doubt creeps in, because you're like, well, am I doing the right thing? Because you're working for a while without seeing something to say like, okay, you did a good job, right? But then when the good job comes, it's like, woo, like we made it, right? Yeah. So that's why it's important to be in the room with the other people, because they're like, no, this is the pathway I was on, and yes, you're going the right direction, right? Yeah. And it's a big help.
And I think I want to kind of zero in here, because a lot of people are spending their time putting in all that work, testing things out, showing up, rolling up on social media, and they want to see that income, or they want to see that brand partnership, or these things that can, you know, the sexy, shiny objects that we think are really easy to do on social media. So can we get into a little bit of how you help your clients and yourself leverage social media and live stream and other things? Like what is that looking like? What are you teaching these days?
So first thing is no ramming. Ramming is random acts of marketing. We're not doing it anymore. You're going to be super intentional. You should always have a call to action on every single thing that you post. So I tell people to have like 3 intentions, right? And technically I'm only going to give you reign for 2, because 1 should be list building. Everybody should be building the list. And specifically text messaging is the best way to do it, because people have their phones with them 80 to 85% of the time. So if I can get you on my text list, you know, I'm going to send you back an auto message, say, hey, you're almost there to your free whatever, click this link, you're going to put in your name and your email. And then either I'm going to redirect you to the page and bam, you can get whatever I told you you're going to get, or I'm going to send you to a confirmation page and say, hey, I'm emailing your crap to you right now. In the meantime, check this out, right? So now I got you on social media, I got your phone number, and, you know, I have an email. So we have multiple lines of communication, right? Now I'm able to develop a relationship.
And before, because you are just like making this sound like everyone knows this. And I think it's so important to like underscore that when we talk about monetizing social, we are not talking about the algorithm, the hack, what to put in your story. Like, sure, we can get there, but I think it's so important that the whole philosophy around monetizing your social is getting people off of your social and into landscape that you actually own. You guys, this is 100% true of me right now. Like, my Instagram is on timeout or prison. I don't know yet, or figuring it out. And so many of my friends are like even more dramatic about it than I am, because they don't understand, oh, I don't rely on Instagram for my income. I'm not like an affiliate for yoga pants. I'm not like running ads. Like, I just use it to connect with people, and it's worked to do that. but they get exactly what you're saying, Ashley. Then come over into these other lands, like my website and my email list and text message that I actually own. Because you guys, Meta, don't build your business on Meta's land. They change the rates, they change the game, they can take it from you at any second. So that's a big deal that you jumped right into. And I want to talk about what that actually means, but people got to know that your time on Meta is just ticking. It is ticking.
Your list is your most valuable asset online or offline to your business. It's a collection of people that care about what you care about, basically. And you want to be able to have direct access to them, whether you're telling them to pull up on you in a live stream, come to a physical event with you, purchase whatever your deal of the day is, showcase new inventory, highlight a testimonial reel, whatever, it doesn't matter, but you have to have a way to communicate with them. And like, do I make money when I post on social media? Yeah, I do, but I make way, way, way more money from my own list of people, right? Inside of, we have like the Royal Court for all my people that are international. And then we have the Commerce Club for the people that are stateside in Canada. And we talk and we exchange stuff, and they get all kinds of like free marketing plans. And sometimes, like, we've been doing a series in manifestation set up for like 2022. They get private links to the Zooms. We all been getting in there, you know what I'm saying, for the past 2 weeks, like doing the work. Everybody online, they're like, in Instagram line, they're like, where you at? I'm like, join the Commerce Club.
Where you at? Where are you at? Yes.
What we're doing, like, pull up on us there. So like your list, and you have to list build for your life. And I mean, like, every effing day, like non-stop, right? So you should always have of your 3 objectives, there's always should be an objective to list build. The other 2 that's free for all. It could be to sell, it could be to increase your engagement, it could be to move people into an app. It could be to get people to listen to your podcast, whatever you want them to do. But one of your 3 objectives should like literally always be get on my list. Okay. Next is I love a good funnel, honey. I live for it. I don't care what the people in the streets got to say about it. It works. Okay. It has worked for me. It's worked for several of my other clients. And so there's something that I teach called a tier 1 funnel. It's very unique to me, but y'all, it's very simple, but this works. And if you can understand the foundations of this, you can make your other funnels as complex as you want them to be. But tier 1 funnels, they work. So you're always, remember, on social media, it is attention, interest, invitation. So when someone first sees your post, you're catching their attention, right? You got about 3 seconds to get them interested in whatever you're talking about or whatever's on your meme, or, if they feel like they can relate to it. And then from there is the invitation to follow you. So a lot of people make the mistake when they're running on other people's pages, like if they're doing like peer-to-peer posts or influencer ads and stuff like that, they get on there and they try and sell crap. Don't nobody know you yet. They don't trust you. There's no like and trust factor even built. You don't do that. You just get on, you give some helpful information, and you call out 1 to 3 niches and say, hey, if this is you, pull up on me, follow. Okay, that's how that works. So I caught your attention. I got you interested in what I was saying. Now I gave you an invitation. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now when they come to your social media account and they're following you, you should be posting, right? Asking them, say, hey, I got this free thing over here, or this class, or this live stream, or webinar, or checklist, or whatever it is that you're giving to these people. And side note, people love checklists, cheat sheets, and mini courses. Those are our highest converting lead magnets of like all time between all of my clients. And I think
there's something really big here too, for like thinking of how our audience is listening to you, like what you're talking about, these invitations, like you literally have to think about like what is going to have people cancel their plans and come over to your house, like get onto your list. And when you make it really complicated, like you're going to do a 5-day challenge. I'm like, it's gonna take me a 5-day challenge just to come into your house. Like people just want to show up, have it be easy, get the thing and leave, right? And I think that is a big shift over the last couple of years, and that people just want the thing. They don't even want a 12-week program. They don't want a 5-day challenge. It's like, what's the hack? What's the tool? What's the thing? And I know we have a lot of coaches listening, and I want you to think about that for your marketing, is like, don't make it complicated. Don't make it sound like work. Just make it sound like the thing they want, the cheat sheet, the blueprint, like what Ashley's saying.
I tell people all the time, you have to sell people what they want and you wrap what they need inside of it. People don't come to me because I'm saying, oh, I'm going to build you some super sexy funnel. No, people come to me because they want to make 7, 8, 9 figures. And they're like, I know that this girl can help me do that. So if I put up if I put up a stream and I say how I went from $100,000 to $1 million in 6 months, people are going to come in, right? But if I put up,
I'm here for it. I'm rolling up.
right now, but if
Yeah.
I put up the same stream and I'm like, and I say, how I was able to double the conversions inside of my funnel, I'm probably going to get like a fourth of the people to come because they don't want a funnel, even though they need that. And that's the key to how I got to that million, right? In those 6 months, but they don't want it. They don't know that they want it yet. What they want is to make $1 million. So you always give people what they want. You wrap what they need inside of it, like always. Like, and whenever you're coming up with lead magnets, frequently asked questions, common problems. That's it. Or I would say like the top 3 desires of your audience. So you really have to pay attention in conversation. I always tell people you sell by listening, you sell by listening, you sell by listening. And people will tell you what they want. So if you're always getting a specific question, create a lead magnet that answers that question. If people are having a common problem, give them the solution to the problem. And you're going to be building your list like by bukus in like little amounts of time. Because people have always asked me, they're like, how the hell can you put, 15, 16,000 people on your text list in 2 or 3 weeks? Well, because I'm only going to give a class, or I'm only going to give information about what people told me they were struggling with.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, I'm not.
I knew they needed this. I just showed up with the milk when they called the milkman. Like I was just here, right? This is what they asked for.
That's it. Just give people what they're asking you for.
Yeah.
So once we get the invitation, right, and you're at my page and I'm putting out my content, I'm saying, hey, I got this free thing. Come and hang out with me. I'm giving valuable content down my page. I'm trying to get you, text me, come and hang out with me, right? Or click the link in my bio, whatever. However we get them there, we're getting them there, right? Of course, they're going to see your opt-in page, right? On the opt-in page, make sure you have a graphic or some type of video that represents what it is. Keep the language simple. This is for you if blah, blah, blah. That's it. Let them put in their name and their email, and then you're going to automatically redirect them over to a confirmation page with the offer. And a lot of people miss this step. You have to have the confirmation page with the offer because, one, it establishes that you have something for sale. You do not want to build a relationship where people feel like they only come to you as a resource and for free things. Even if they don't buy the offer right then and there, they need to know I have something to sell you. Okay, I have something to offer you, whether it's a membership, I don't care if it's a $1 trial, whatever, it needs to be something there, right? So normally we like to put a video on the confirmation page and there's a headline. The headline is very important. In the headline, you have to acknowledge that whatever lead magnet you offered them, that it is coming. Do not pretend like it's not there. People are going to feel like it's a bait and switch. My preference is to email this because I like people to go in and get in the habit of opening emails from me. So on my headline, I say, hey, your free checklist is on the way. Look for an email from supportca@ashlandsevents.com, right? And then I say, and in the meantime, check out this short video. The video is never longer than 5 minutes. And in the video, it's me. And I'm like, hey, thanks for getting your blank, whatever the checklist was. Here's the best way to use it. And I immediately go into value. Like, this is the best way to use this thing, right? And then I'm immediately going to go into a problem. So this is the best way to use this checklist on, how to build up 10,000 real Instagram followers in 90 days or something like that. Maybe that's the cheat sheet I'm giving, right? And then I'm going to say, now, if you're struggling with what to post on Instagram, I have a set of posting cycles that will help you a lot. Click the button below. Because you're a part of the kingdom now, you can get it for $7 instead of $97. I immediately went into my tripwire. So I'm giving you some helpful tips and I'm selling you something right there on the spot. So this is super important. You cannot miss this step, right? So now either people, they're going to push the button and they're going to go and buy your tripwire, or they're going to say no thanks and go on about their day. Either way, you're good to go. Okay.
They're
Then
on your list, and they're, everything you're saying is like so many micro agreements, right? We literally train our followers to say yes to us, say yes to text me, say yes to watch my video, say yes to go check your email because I just told you to, say yes to hit the button below. Like, all of those little steps are so psychological because they think they're getting one thing, but then they keep saying yes to you. Like, that's practice in our mind, subconscious mind, of saying yes to you. And so I think, between what you're saying on social, attention, interest, invitation, to then take this action, right? Text me, get on my list, grab this thing. Then I'm just recapping for note takers here. Get your notebooks out because I'm recapping. Then they text you. Then you have an opt-in page. Great. They're going to see what you're about. Then they go to your offer page. Maybe they buy your tripwire, which is that like upsell or that $7 little thing that they just trip on. I didn't know I needed that, but I'm in Starbucks and I tripped and I'm going to buy a mug while I'm here, even though I just came for coffee. That's what a tripwire is. And then they're also going to your email saying, yes, I'm going to open up this freebie that you emailed me.
Right.
Ooh,
and
good stuff.
And then when they get in on the freebie, I'm a firm believer. I do not care what anybody says. Okay. Like, and I've been with some of the best in these trainings. And this is a point where I definitely disagree. And clearly it's working for me and my clients. I'm getting you an offer immediately in that email. Click this button to get your free, whatever the lead magnet was, and they're going to click the button and go to it. But in that same email, if you want to dive deeper in this, or if you're interested in the next step, boom, here is something for you to purchase right now. I don't F around. Like, we're getting like right to it. And nobody cares that I'm giving them an offer because I've just given them so much value. I always tie in the offer with value. As long as it's correlated together, people are with it. They are here for it. So immediately we go into that, right? And then at the end of that email, I remind them that they can connect with me right through the free trainings because I'm a live streamer. So I tell them that they can text me just in case they click the link in the bio, right? And if you're already, and I'm like, and if you're already on the Commerce Club or in the Royal Court, you'll get an email from me probably in the next 48 hours, letting you know when we have the next live session. So that way, when the email is coming, they're already looking for it. So I tell people what I'm going to talk to you about and about how long they can expect to hear from me.
Ooh,
so that's a
I love
part.
that, training them.
Our open rate skyrocketed just by me adding that little line. Like, initially our email open rates were probably like at 13%, and they went from 13%. Now we average in between like 32 and 45% on open rates now. Crazy.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that because how many times, have you been excited when you learn about someone or you see something, right? Like, you can take the action immediately to upgrade yourself. I'm totally the type of consumer that's on the treadmill all the time. Like, I see it, I'm running, I'm buying, high ticket, here we go. Like, but I know there are people like window shoppers, just like on the sidewalk, or you can take a couple of emails, but no matter what type of consumer you're speaking to, they're being trained in how to connect with you. Like, and I'm hearing again, as I think about coaches or people who are listening that have ongoing like monthly webinars, or like, let people know what your schedule is, because they're engaged in this first kind of lead magnet situation. But I love, Ashley, how you just like roll out the red carpet. It's probably from your event past of like, great, got in the door, but don't forget there are like 17 things happening tonight or in our journey together. So here's your little like itinerary is what I'm hearing you lay out for people, because we expect that they know or they see things they do not. Right.
Yeah, no, they don't. And then the third thing that, works like really important, and you actually brought it up, especially for like coaches and consultants, like, you've got to do a webinar. You can turn it into a webinar or whatever else you want to later, but webinars are like super important. And so as much money as I make, and even though I'm like strapped for time, I still try and do at least one live webinar a month. Again, because you sell by listening. I like being connected to people. And, it's not by accident that we're doing a webinar and I'm leaving the webinar and I've made $250,000, $300,000 in a 4-hour period, right? It's because like I'm super intentional. So for the model that seems to be working the best for myself and for everyone right now, basically we come up with 4 webinar topics that are super specific to what your audience needs. I segment the audience into 3 groups. You have a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced person, right? Depending on where they are in their journey, they're going to be experiencing like different things and they're going to have different questions. And because I have these 4 different webinars, you run each once a quarter. So the cool thing about it is it creates a sense of urgency because people are like, well, dang, I don't want to wait. It's December now. I don't want to wait all the way into April of next year, you know what I'm saying, before she talks again about like how to put together, like how you're able to make, you know, your first 6 figures and what you should price the products at, right? Because that was a big question that people in my audience had. So I created a 6-figure blueprint workshop and we go through everything. Like this is if you sell a physical product, a digital product, if you're a service-based entrepreneur, or if you're in an MLM, and for coaches and consultants. And we break down what the price points should be, how they should be charging, how you should move people around, the whole shebang, because that was a question they had, right? So literally look at like, what are people querying you the most about? You're going to create your 4 webinars. You'll give, if you're doing one every month, then that rolls down to once a quarter is when you roll that webinar. So you're always going to be able to build up a really big audience of people to come there. Also, when I do my webinars, I only promote about 4 days out. But I've spent an extensive amount of time researching like pages and stuff that we can promote on so people know they're coming outside of our own. I would say if you don't have that yet, like then maybe 7 days out. I personally don't think you should be promoting more than 7 days out because people forget. I don't care how many emails you send them. I don't care how many text messages you send them. They forget. Like people have stuff that happens in life. And then once they register for the webinar on the confirmation page, I always give them the option to text me for a reminder. So normally we have in between 65 to 75% of our people that register actually pull up for our webinars and show up.
That's huge.
Yeah, because literally I'm only promoting it 4 days out. So that means your webinar is happening that week. And I'm texting you and I'm like, hey, don't forget your webinar is Thursday. Go check your email. I send you a bunch of details inside of there. And then literally when the webinar room opens, I text them like that day. I'm like, hey, don't forget the webinars today. I will text you an hour reminder. Then I'm going to text you like when the room's open, hey, and then 15 minutes into the webinar, I'm going to send you a text and be like, hey, we are here. Where you at, boo? Like, what's going on? Like pull up on us, right? Because we're doing that and we have more people showing up, of course, you have the opportunity to make your offer to more people. And so our revenue literally like just doubled. It went kaboom once I started doing that. So literally just understanding, because you sell by listening, what do your people want? My people like to be communicated with through text message. They like their reminders. My people communicate with video. So it's not uncommon for me to text them like a little video, you know, saying whatever. I put videos inside of our emails too, because that's what they like. Like I pay attention, right? And if somebody tells you this is what they like, just give people what they like. So that, and then with the webinar, like, and I've tried, oh gosh, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've tried webinars so many different ways. Honestly, one offer is the best way. I've tried multiple offers. I've tried like a median, a low cost. I've tried to give them 3 different products they can buy. Like you can get into, you know, phase 1 or phase 2. No, just give people one offer. If you want it to be like an elite version of it, or if you want to have like an upsell, like something that's supplemental, maybe like a membership or like a questions lab or like a 12-week mentorship program or something to go along with it. That's awesome. You know, audio files, all that kind of stuff. But like selling and being focused on the one product brings us back the most revenue. Yeah.
I love that. And this sounds like it would be really productive for coaches, trainers, like people who are doing like more of the knowledge-based sharing or like giving programs. And what about for like services? Have you seen this work for more of those like done for you, or I am your personal trainer, right? Is it the same game for those folks?
Same game, except for one thing that we'll do for like services and done for you. If people want like a level of customization, normally what we tell them they can do, like you can enroll or you have them do a deposit that night. And then, you know, within like that 72-hour period, you're going to follow up, get everybody on the schedule and get them booked into whatever it needs to be. But for me, for my like super high ticket, right, on the services, because I have a program, we call it Continuous Coins. And that's my super high level people. Most of my people that are 7 and 8 figures, except for one, literally all of them except for one have worked with me inside of that program. And with that, I don't even sell that through a webinar or anything. Like you have to come through Continuous Coins or you got to be referral. And that's the only way you get into that. And, you know, that program starts at $150,000 and goes up from there, right? So a lot of times people that have been watching me for a long time, or they know other people, you know, that work with me, they've seen the case studies I put on my page. They've watched my clients like just, they watched them, you know, for like a year or 2 years, and they be like, holy, you know, we're watching this build out in front of our face. They come into that program. When we're in the webinar, you know, Instacoin is normally, I tell people, the most economical way to work with me. And it's only, normally it's 22, but we've been running a special, and we'll probably do like one more iteration of it and letting people come in at like 85% off. So they can get in like $5,500, right? That right there for most people, and we let them have access into our mentorship group and everything for a year. So they're not even paying $500 a month, right? They jump on it, but that's all that we offer like on that side. My clients that have physical products, normally I have them put together some type of bundle or package. And then once they sell people the bundle or the package, on the back end, like when they sign up, normally a little video, hey, I'm really excited you grabbed this bundle. We can do XYZ LMNOP for you if you would like, you know, to work with me on this, or if you need a custom amount of these or a custom order, like click this. And we just let them do a little, you just click a little box and bada boom, bada bang, they're in there. So that normally seems to work the best on that side for them.
Great. Yeah. I mean, the whole like philosophy, you know, the lead magnet to getting engaged, you know, even bigger. I know you went through all of those steps, but I think like the principle here for folks is like, get a lead magnet, like have something that pulls people from your social onto your territory, and then think about the things that they need to see immediately, that they need to say yes to, that they need to follow kind of your marshmallow trail in the woods to like, this is how you work with me, like take all these steps to, you know, show here, to show up here and to play the game that we're playing. And of course, along the way, there's going to be people who say no to the tripwire, who are like, no, I'm just good with the free beer. I'm just going to watch because I'm a sidewalk type of person. But everything you just covered, Ashley, I think really sums up how to be a savvy marketer in a way that isn't robotic, that isn't just, you know, like you said, everyone out on the streets, like clicking around. It's like really thinking about who are the real people on the other side of the screen, and what are the things they actually need to see and know from you to take the right action and get a solution to the problem that they have, or the problem that you solve. So I love calls like this when, you know, I know people on the other side are feeling like you made me drink out of a fire hose. That was so much information, right? That's perfect. This is one to go back with your notebook and take some notes, but also, you know, maybe go check out Ashley IRL or on the internet. So where can people learn more about you, continue this conversation, and see everything that you have to offer?
Yeah, just pull up on me. I'm King Ashley Ann. I hang out on Instagram and TikTok probably the most. I do have a Facebook and stuff, but I'm a visual person, so I like the gram and I like TikTok. This is my jam. Okay. Outside of that, you can text the word commas with a K, KOMMAS. That's KOMMAS to 501-285-8966. They'll put you in the Commerce Club. And so we like make sure to give free marketing plans. We give like startup stuff. We give different tips on like how to double and triple sales, conversion, just anything that you need as far as like if you're a business owner and you want to make money in the social media space. And of course, I do a little mindset manifestation stuff over there too, because I'm into all of that.
We talked about that, right? Like you really do have all of the building blocks, starting with that foundation of your mindset and what you're about. out, and then building in all of those things that you need to really run a business online. So we will make sure that we get lots of links to you and everything that you are up to. We really we're going to save this one and go back with our notebooks, right, listeners? So much good things that you can implement today. So again, thank you. I knew from the get-go, you are so generous with your time, energy, and wisdom, Ashley. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you listeners as well. So I'll be back next week with another inspiring guest that will help you make your dream life your real life.